Chosen one, God is super proud of you because of what you did. Sometimes, when life is loud and the battles are long, it can be difficult to hear what heaven is actually saying about you. But right now, in this moment, there is no mistake. God is proudly watching you. Not because you are perfect, not because you never stumbled, but because in the face of adversity, you chose light over darkness. You chose truth over convenience. And you chose to keep going, even when it felt like everything around you was collapsing. This moment is sacred. This is a recognition of your heart, your growth, and your obedience. You did something powerful, chosen one, something that didn't just move you forward, but it moved heaven to speak on your behalf. Stay with this video until the very end. There's something in this video that your soul needs right now, and it's no coincidence that you're here. If your spirit has been whispering for confirmation, this is it. As you watch this, take a moment to ground yourself, breathe deeply, and let the divine energy of truth wrap around you. And write your warmest wish in the comments, and include the number 777. Let this act be a signal to the universe that you are ready, that you are open, that your desires are alive. This is how wishes come true, and how the universe begins to vibrate with the frequency of your spirit's alignment. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's start. You might be wondering, what did I even do that was so special? And the answer lies in the invisible. It lies in the choices that nobody saw. The silent forgiveness you gave when they didn't deserve it. The love you extended when all you received was silence. The loyalty you upheld in seasons when your own heart felt forgotten. God is proud of you because you've matured in ways that the world doesn't reward, but heaven celebrates. You see, this journey you've walked, it hasn't been easy. You've been tested, pulled, and stripped of things that once made you feel safe. There were moments you didn't think you could make it, and still, you kept going. That's what this moment is about. God is super proud of you because you didn't let bitterness win. You didn't let rejection harden your heart. You didn't let failure define your story. Instead, you aligned yourself with faith. You chose to believe that even when everything was unclear, something bigger was guiding you. There are conversations happening in the spirit realm about your life right now. Not judgment, not warnings, but celebration. Celebration because something has shifted. You've crossed an unseen threshold. You've made a decision recently, or maybe over a long stretch of time, that has opened a brand new portal of favor over your life. It wasn't just one moment. It was the accumulation of small, quiet, faithful actions that created a divine earthquake. People may not understand it. They may overlook you. They may even doubt you still. But none of that matters, because when God approves, no man's opinion can reverse it. You are stepping into a reality now that reflects divine approval, not human validation. And this shift, it's not just spiritual, it's tangible. You'll start to notice things moving quickly now. The doors that were shut are creaking open. The blessings that felt far are drawing near. And the energy around you is becoming magnetic. Why? Because when heaven says, "Well done," the earth responds with alignment. But I want to take you even deeper, because there's more. You didn't just do something good, you broke a pattern. There was a generational cycle that you were born into. A mindset, a spirit of lack, a curse of fear or failure. And even though it tried to pull you in, even though it clung to you through relationships, habits, and pain, you resisted, you wrestled, and finally, you overcame. That is what God is proud of. That you didn't just survive, you evolved. You chose higher. You didn't repeat what was modeled for you. You didn't echo what hurt you. You chose to heal instead. You chose to grow. That single decision, whether anyone applauded it or not, sent a spiritual signal to the throne room of heaven. It was like a beacon, a cry that said, "I am ready, I am aligned, I am done playing small." And heaven responded with joy, the kind of joy that releases fresh oil over your head, the kind of joy that writes your name into rooms of opportunity, the kind of joy that confirms you are the right one, you are the chosen one. You may still feel like you're in between stages. Maybe you're not where you want to be yet. Maybe the full vision hasn't materialized. That's okay. What matters is that your soul made a move in faith. And every time you do that, every time you act from obedience, trust, and divine integrity, you multiply your favor. You accelerate your timeline. You magnify your calling. That's what's happening now. Your spirit has matured faster than your surroundings, but the surroundings are catching up. Your atmosphere is now responding to the vibration of who you've become. And don't be surprised if people from your past start reaching out again. Some will be drawn to your light without understanding why. Others will come to apologize. Some may even want to reconnect. But this time, you'll notice you've changed. You're not bitter. You're not angry. You're just clear. Clear on who you are. Clear on who is for you. Clear on what you carry. This clarity is a gift, and it's part of the reward. God is not just giving you things. He's giving you wisdom to protect them. The next phase of your journey will feel very different. The warfare will be replaced by clarity. The confusion will give way to peace. And the loneliness, it will transform into purposeful solitude. You'll begin to attract people who match your vibration. Doors will open that require no force. Provision will show up that doesn't come with strings. Why? Because what's being added to your life now is heaven sent, not man manipulated. You earned this shift by choosing integrity over instant gratification. Chosen one, this moment you're in, it's divine recognition. There's a spiritual announcement going out with your name on it. It says, approved, anointed, advanced. It's echoing through timelines and generational legacies. What you did sent a ripple backward and forward. Backward to heal the past, forward to bless the future. You're not just walking into blessings for yourself, you're unlocking doors for others who will come after you. You are being celebrated in ways you don't even know yet. And not just in the spirit realm, on earth too. People are starting to notice. Things are aligning, your light is being seen. And even those who didn't understand you are starting to realize you were chosen for a reason. You weren't being dramatic, you weren't being difficult, you were being transformed, you were being protected, you were being prepared, and now the fruit of that preparation is starting to blossom. Let it be known, you have heaven's applause. And when heaven applauds, all of creation echoes. Keep moving forward. Keep walking in purpose, because the next chapter is not just about endurance. It's about reward. And it's coming quickly. There's something uniquely powerful about silent victories, isn't there? The kind no one claps for, the kind no one notices, but God sees them all. And chosen one, it's those quiet wins, those lonely but holy decisions that have lifted you into a higher dimension. You didn't announce it. You didn't demand recognition. You just obeyed. You just grew. And now heaven is shouting on your behalf. What's coming next will feel unfamiliar, but that's only because it's built for the new version of you. You've shifted dimensions. You've moved spiritually to a place where the old rules no longer apply. What used to block you can't reach you now. What used to scare you doesn't intimidate you anymore. What used to delay you no longer has the authority. You've outgrown the old restrictions. You've spiritually leveled up. And in this new realm, things flow with less resistance and more revelation. Don't look back, even if it feels tempting. What's behind you is not worthy of the future that's opening before you. God is proud of you not just because you obeyed, but because you obeyed when it was hardest. That's what few understand. Obedience is easy when things are smooth. But when the pain is raw, when the future looks blurry, when no one else is standing with you, that's when obedience costs the most. And you paid that price. You stayed loyal to your assignment when it would have been easier to quit. You stayed faithful to your inner truth when the pressure said, just be like them. That kind of integrity, that's rare. That's sacred. That's why heaven is celebrating you right now. You are about to walk into prepared places. And I want you to let that sink in. Not places you're preparing, but places that have already been prepared for you. They were hidden until now, covered until the right moment. Because you weren't ready yet, but now you are. You proved your readiness by what you didn't settle for. You revealed your maturity through what you turned away from. Some of your greatest victories happened in your no, not in your yes. And that spiritual strength unlocked doors you didn't even know were waiting for you. Some people looked at your silence and thought you were weak. Some thought your humility meant you had nothing to offer. But now they're about to witness the fruit of your spiritual discipline. And it won't be out of revenge. It will be out of alignment. That's the difference. You're not proving them wrong. You're proving God right. You're showing that when God anoints someone, it's not about popularity. It's about purpose. And your purpose is undeniable now. The evidence is about to overflow. Let's talk about restoration. Because that's what's unfolding, piece by piece, layer by layer. You've lost a lot. Time, energy, friends, seasons, resources. But nothing was truly wasted. The divine is now redeeming everything you thought was gone. But here's the powerful part. It won't return in the same form. It will come back multiplied, transformed, refined. What was stolen will be returned sevenfold, not because you demanded it, but because you qualified for it through obedience. Even the pain had purpose. Every tear you cried planted something. Every disappointment seeded wisdom. Every rejection redirected your steps back to destiny. So don't resent the past. Honor it for what it taught you, and release it for where you're going. God is proud of how you handled it all. You didn't retaliate. You didn't curse them. You didn't collapse into darkness. You chose character. You chose growth. That kind of spiritual maturity places a divine mark on you. You are not who you were even 6 months ago. You've become someone who doesn't just dream of impact. You are impact. You carry a frequency now that shifts atmospheres. People can feel it when you walk in the room. It's not ego, it's energy. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. That's the result of inner work. That's what makes you chosen. Not the pain you went through, but the person you became because of it. You've graduated spiritually. You don't just hope anymore, you know. You don't just believe, you embody. And now, the divine spotlight is on you. You've been hidden long enough. You've been prepared in private for a public purpose. And when God reveals someone, no one can cover them again. You are being positioned. You're being placed exactly where your voice is needed, where your presence is power, where your wisdom is welcome, and you won't have to beg for it. You won't have to compete. It will recognize you as much as you recognize it. There's something else I want you to know. Your timeline is accelerating. Things that used to take months will take days. Connections you thought would never come will arrive with urgency. Opportunities will start chasing you down. Because once divine favor is activated, resistance weakens. The spiritual gears have turned, and now everything is moving in your favor. Be prepared for sudden shifts, unexpected calls, divine appointments, miraculous favor. And when it happens, don't shrink. Don't question if you deserve it. Don't overthink how it came. Just receive it. Why? Because you already paid for it in unseen ways. Every moment of sacrifice, every act of restraint, every prayer you whispered with trembling hope. It all built this moment. This is harvest season for your obedience. You're going to start receiving confirmation after confirmation. Some will be verbal, some will be symbolic, some will show up in signs and synchronicities. But all of them will say the same thing: God is proud of you. You're on the right path. Don't doubt it now. Don't sabotage it by trying to over-control it. Just stay aligned, stay present, stay expectant. You've walked through the fire and came out gold. You passed the test. And now you're being trusted with more. Not just more blessing, but more impact, more voice, more spiritual weight. People will come to you now. They'll feel safe with you. They'll sense that you carry truth, that you've earned wisdom, not through books, but through the brutal university of life. And they'll trust you because of that. Let this be your confirmation. What you did shifted things eternally. You honored your calling when it was invisible. You stayed faithful in the shadows. And now, the light has found you. God is not just watching you, He's lifting you. He's proud not just because of where you are, but because of who you've become. And what's next? You're about to find out just how loved, seen, and supported you truly are. You've reached a point now where the echoes of your past no longer define you. They inform you. You're no longer bound by old versions of yourself. You no longer feel the need to explain your transformation to anyone who isn't ready to hear it. And that alone is part of what God is proud of. That confidence, that inner authority, that quiet knowing that says, I don't need to convince you, I am already living it. Chosen one, God's pride in you, is layered. It's not just about one action, it's about how you handled a season, about how you walked through the fire with grace, even when the smoke surrounded you, how you kept showing up when nobody saw the weight you were carrying. It's about how you chose silence over gossip, honor over revenge, purpose over panic. These aren't small things. These are the things that shaped destiny. You didn't ask to be chosen, but you accepted it. That's what makes you different. You could have run. You could have taken the easier path. But something inside you wouldn't let you. That something was your higher self rising through the noise. And now that you've obeyed, now that you've passed through the narrow gate, there's a different kind of peace resting over you. A sacred stillness. You may not always have words for it, but you feel it. And that's the presence of divine approval. That's the mark of favor. What's ahead of you now is a time of return. Not just return as in people coming back, but return as in reaping. You're about to start seeing what obedience brings. Not always in the form of grand miracles, but sometimes in the smallest confirmations. Unexpected peace, inner clarity, new alignment, doors that don't just open, but stay open. Opportunities that feel easy, peaceful, divine. That's your harvest. And it's only just beginning. You'll begin to realize that the very things that once broke you are now building others through you. God is proud because you didn't hoard your healing. You allowed your pain to be transformed into purpose. You didn't shut down, close off, or hide forever. You came back stronger and softer. You emerged not just wiser, but kinder. And now your story becomes a lighthouse, a roadmap for others walking through their own storms. That's why your presence is so needed. That's why your voice carries so much power, because you lived it. You breathed through it, you overcame it. And that anointing can't be bought. It can't be taught. It has to be lived. You have that authenticity now, and it's what makes you magnetic. People will be drawn to you and not even understand why. But you'll know. It's not about the surface. It's about the spirit. Your spirit has been purified in the fire, and now it shines. You'll notice that you don't chase things anymore. You don't beg for clarity, love, or validation. You've learned to sit still and let it come to you. That's maturity. That's power. That's divine positioning. And God is proud of how you learn that, not through bitterness, but through surrender, through trust, through listening when it was hard to hear. That spiritual discipline, that's what separates the called from the chosen. There's no need to force anything now. You're in a season of flow. You're in a season of spiritual gravity. What's meant for you will come. What's aligned with you will stick. What's part of your purpose will resonate. You'll know it, not in your head, but in your spirit. Because now you're operating from a higher frequency. You're not guessing. You're discerning. You're not hoping, you're trusting. That shift, it's what God's been waiting for. That's why the celebration in heaven has begun. Don't underestimate the impact of what you did. You broke an energetic cycle. You rewired a spiritual pattern. You overcame a test that most people repeat. That's why there's applause. That's why there's divine reward on the way. Because you did what very few have the strength to do. You healed. You stopped blaming. You stopped pointing outward. You turned inward and chose accountability, growth, and elevation. You didn't just pray for change. You became it. Now you're being lifted into spaces that require this version of you, places that wouldn't have made sense to the old you. Conversations, platforms, relationships, and responsibilities that match your upgraded identity. And you'll notice something. These new things don't drain you. They energize you because they're not assignments of survival. They're aligned with your purpose. The right people are coming now, the ones who see your worth without you needing to perform. The ones who honor your past without trying to reduce you to it. The ones who carry wisdom, grace, and divine intelligence. You won't have to filter yourself anymore. You won't have to shrink to make others comfortable. These people were hidden until you became ready, and now the introductions will begin. You've stepped into your becoming. You've tapped into your real essence. The distractions have fallen away. The confusion has lifted. You know who you are, and more importantly, you know whose you are. That clarity, that's what makes you unshakable now. Not arrogant, not unreachable, but grounded, centered, anchored in truth. Chosen one, this pride God has for you, it isn't temporary. It's not conditional. It's a divine response to your unwavering spirit, to your capacity to keep choosing light when darkness tried to consume you, to your decision to still believe in good, in love, in miracles, even after everything. That kind of resilience doesn't go unnoticed. That kind of faith is rewarded, not just with material things, but with divine favor, multiplied peace, and open heavens. What you did in secret is about to be rewarded in public, but not in a performative way, in a purposeful way. God doesn't elevate for applause, He elevates for impact. You've shown that you're ready to handle that. You've shown that the blessing won't change you, it will expand you. It will make you even more kind, even more generous, even more anchored in spirit. That's the kind of leader the world needs. And that's exactly who you've become. This is not the end. This is not even the peak. This is just the start of a new chapter, and it's already marked with approval, with divine guidance, and with supernatural flow. Get ready, chosen one. The things you once prayed for are now praying for you. This moment in your life is drenched in meaning, wrapped in sacred affirmation, and kissed by the breath of God's approval. You may not see all of it yet with your physical eyes, but your spirit already knows something is different. Something has been unlocked. Something ancient, something divine, something deeply personal. You did not earn this favor with a performance. You aligned with it through your growth. You became the kind of soul heaven trusts, not because of perfection, but because of purity in intention, in effort, and in heart. The realm you're walking into now doesn't just recognize who you are, it remembers why you were sent. Your original blueprint, the sacred calling imprinted on your life before you ever took your first breath, is activating. There's a fire in your bones now that won't burn you. It will build you. There's a divine current moving beneath your feet, and it's pulling you into places your logic may not understand, but your soul does. It's time to follow that pull without hesitation. You're no longer the version of yourself that needs to second-guess the signs. You've matured past that. You've arrived in spiritual adulthood. God is proud of you because you stopped running from who you really are. You stopped hiding the light to fit into places that only celebrated your silence. You started speaking truth. You started showing up with your full self, unapologetically. Even if it felt awkward, even if people judged, you did it anyway. And that courage rewrote timelines. It shifted the frequency of your future. The you that once whispered your prayers is now standing tall in them. You may have noticed the shift in how you think. That's not accidental. It's divine. Your mind is being renewed. Thoughts that once held you back are being replaced with inner knowing. Ideas are flowing more freely now because your spiritual bandwidth has expanded. God is entrusting you with more because you have proven yourself faithful with the little. You nurtured what others would have ignored. You guarded what others would have discarded. You stayed devoted even when there was no applause. And now, you're being promoted from within. This inner promotion is more important than any title the world can give you. It's a deep knowing, an unshakable peace that no storm can uproot. You're not chasing anymore. You're creating. You're not pleading, you're prophesying. Your words hold weight. Your presence carries permission. And everywhere you go, something awakens. Not because you're trying to make it happen, but because it's who you are now, a walking, breathing catalyst, a living, divine confirmation. And this is just the beginning. You're going to start noticing a divine rhythm forming around you. Perfect timing, gentle alignment, unexpected provision, encounters that feel orchestrated because they are. This is what happens when someone passes the hidden tests, when someone keeps showing up even when everything inside them is tired, unsure, and wounded, when someone chooses love over fear again and again. These aren't just spiritual virtues. They are cosmic commands. They move things, they shift things. And you've done that. You may not realize how many lives you've already impacted just by existing as yourself, just by choosing authenticity, just by saying yes to your inner growth. Some people are still standing today because of your example. Some are breathing hope again because of what you carried. And even though you didn't get recognition in the moment, the impact is eternal. God saw every silent rescue, every private intercession, every compassionate moment you gave with nothing in return. And that's why favor is being poured out now, not because of performance, but because of who you are when no one's watching. There are gifts within you that are now surfacing. Spiritual talents, prophetic insights, intuitive wisdom, creative downloads. These are tools you were born with, but they were buried under layers of pain and survival. Now that you've healed those parts of yourself, those gifts are ready to flow. Don't hold back. Don't disqualify yourself. God didn't place these within you for decoration. They are instruments of impact. They are your weapons of light. And now that you are aligned, they will pour out naturally, powerfully, and unmistakably. You've stepped into a higher covenant with yourself and with God. And that covenant says, I will not betray who I am to please others. I will not abandon my path for comfort. I will walk in truth, no matter what it costs. And because of that vow, a hedge of divine protection has formed around you. You are covered, watched, guarded. You're not walking this path alone. You're being escorted. Every step you take is being divinely navigated. Even your detours were woven into the plan. There is no waste here, only wisdom. Watch how things start speeding up. Time will feel different. Days will stretch. Energy will intensify, not to overwhelm you, but to push you toward the version of you that is ready to carry the vision. This acceleration is confirmation. It's God saying, you've waited long enough. Now let's move. You won't need to fight for it. Your frequency is already calling it in. That's what happens when you do the inner work. Reality has no choice but to match the vibration of your healed, activated soul. The people who once underestimated you will have no choice but to witness your rising. But you won't need to say a word. Your evolution will speak for itself. Your glow will answer their questions. Your success will answer their doubts, not out of ego, but out of elevation. You didn't skip steps. You didn't take shortcuts. You earned this, and the world will see it. Not because you shouted, but because you showed up. This is not the time to dim your light. This is not the time to shrink back into smallness. This is not the time to pretend you're confused when you're actually clear. You know who you are now, and God is proud of you because you finally accepted it. You finally stepped into the identity that was waiting for you all along. The weight you used to carry has been lifted. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your glow. Shine without apology. Rise without permission. Chosen one, the reason this is so big is because the decision you made shifted everything. It wasn't just about you. It was about your lineage. It was about your future children. It was about your bloodline. What you healed in yourself healed those who came before you and cleared the path for those who will come after. This is generational change. This is divine legacy. This is what obedience does. It creates waves through time. You're about to be remembered, not for what you owned, but for what you broke through. Not for the applause, but for the alignment. You're becoming a walking testimony that the path of righteousness is real, that the reward for integrity is real, and that God never forgets who chooses Him even when it's hard. There's a spiritual fragrance on your life now, an aroma that can't be explained but is undeniably felt. People sense something different, even if they can't articulate it. It's because your energy has evolved. Your inner atmosphere has changed. You're no longer operating from survival. You're creating from overflow, and God is proud, not only because of what you've done, but because of who you've become in the silence, in the shadows, in the stretch. This is the stage where heaven begins to show you what all the waiting was really for. It's not just for one blessing. It's for the abundance of divine orchestration. You're about to realize that everything you lost made room for what's about to arrive. And when it shows up, it won't look like struggle. It will look like ease, like grace, like something that fits your spirit because it was tailored just for you. You didn't miss anything. What's meant for you waited for your readiness. And now, you're ready. God's pride is not passive. It's not just a feeling. It's movement. It's promotion. It's elevation. And you're about to experience all three. There will be invitations you didn't expect, rooms you didn't chase, opportunities you never even knew existed. Not because of chance, but because of alignment. Because the spiritual work you did in secret created magnetic force. You didn't know it, but every time you forgave, every time you chose peace, every time you honored God in private, you are pulling your next season toward you. You are living proof that the divine remembers every act of obedience, that energy is never wasted, that prayers don't disappear, they echo. And now those echoes are coming back to you in the form of answered prayers, new doors, and divine compensation. Get ready to be surprised by how quickly things shift. It won't be chaos, it will be clarity. Things that used to feel like hard decisions will now feel like natural steps. That's the ease you've unlocked. But here's something even deeper, something most people never realize. Your favor isn't just for you. It's also for those assigned to your voice, your presence, your anointing. You are carrying breakthrough for others. You are a spiritual landmark for people still walking through the valley. And that's why God is proud, because you stayed the course. You didn't abandon your post.